Don't compete, dominate. Don't compete with all the other ducks. Dominate the pond. Don't compete, dominate, my brothers. So in this video, I'm going to discuss this idea, this mistaken idea of the competitive dating market for men. It's so competitive. I have to go out with a baseball bat just to even do one approach. I've got to fight off 7 different guys, yeah? I've got to pay a toll as well. I've got to pay a $1,000 toll just to go out into the street and approach. I've got to be rich, I've got to be jacked, I've got to know how to fight, I've got to be able to headbutt my way through a brick wall, right? It's a silly notion, this whole notion of male competition in this space, and I much prefer the notion of dominating. Do not compete, you dominate your arena. You dominate your arena. So let's get into this. This idea of the competitive dating market is absolutely a farce, in my opinion. It's absolutely ridiculous. First of all, most men are not even approaching. 99% of men are not doing daytime approach, nor will they ever do daytime approach. So if you just have the cojones to even start, you start to get some competence, you potentially watch some of my videos, watch some other videos, you go and work with somebody, whatever you do, right? You call a Wingbro, you actually get good. You've just knocked out like pretty much 100% of the competition, so-called competition. So that's the first thing, right? Most guys are not even doing anything. They're watching, they're waiting, they're hoping. They're watching like videos like mine or some of my friends, and they're actually leaving spiteful comments on the videos because they know deep down they don't even have 1/10 of the balls to go and do it themselves. So most of your so-called competition isn't even doing anything. Okay, so that goes out the window. Secondly, falling into that frame of it being some kind of a competition, in of itself is stupid. In of itself is just stupid. Like, it just doesn't make any sense at all. So, what do I mean by this? Let me flesh this out. So, when you're in an interaction with a woman, there aren't 10 other suitors in the same interaction with you. It's not like one of those game shows where she goes from chair to chair and you have to give a little answer and then she picks the one she likes. She's in with you, my brother. When she's in that set, she is in your world, okay? And you're inviting her into your world. And it's a world in which you dominate the playing field simply because it's yours. Simply because it's yours. Okay, so this is really mainly a mindset. It's your world, you dominate the playing field of your own life, okay? And you do not go and compete against other men. That is absolutely fucking pathetic. So you can do it whichever way in any way you want. But I'll just give you a few different examples and then I'll lead on to my own life, because I want to show you how this could apply in a multitude of different areas. So, for example, one of my close friends, really one of my best friends, is from Colombia, and he's an intelligent guy, but he's also hyper sociable, very, very positive. I mean hyper sociable. And he's always done, since I've known him for the last 12 years, he's always done very well with the ladies. He's always had a gorgeous girlfriend, or he's always had something going on. Usually he's got like 3 different girlfriends. You know, he's always done very well for himself. And at no point has he ever asked me about how his jawline was looking, whether he was jacked enough, whether he had enough money, okay? At no point, right? He dominates his playing field. And his playing field is being Mr. Cool, Mr. Sociable. I mean, actually just no, Mr. Fun, Mr. Sociable. Mr. Fun and Mr. Sociable. So that was his playing field, which he completely dominated, right? And this is a guy who is not good looking, he's not rich, and he's not high status, right? Right? He's super fun, super sociable, and he kills it with girls, right? Absolutely kills it. So that would be a great example. And actually, just to extend that a little bit, one of his exes, now as I've got older, I've traveled the world, I've seen more beautiful girls, but at the time, she was one of the most beautiful women I'd ever seen. She was from, I think she was from Greece, Like she was like, this is Helena Troy, this girl, right? And he gets this girl, and you know, it was very interesting. Like physically, she was just so attractive, right? And he's just kind of average. But after him, she struggled to date after him. I think she remains unmarried because it's kind of like, once you've been with the king, the party king, where do you go from there? You can go on you can go on dates with some, some local guy, you go back home where you go, or whatever, meet some good-looking guys who are just, they're just kind of maybe relying on a bit of looks. They've got no real personality, no real banter. And you've been, for the last few years, you've been out with a guy who, he knows everyone everywhere all the time. Everybody loves this guy. I go to meet him for a drink, there's already 10 people around him, literally every single time. And I say, where'd you know my mate from? Oh, we just met him 2 minutes ago. So she's been with that. And then she's got to go back to dating a quote-unquote normal guy. Even if they're good looking or whatever, or better looking, it just doesn't register. It doesn't hit the same, yeah? She's been having a crazy experience, which ended. So that's an interesting one, right? They talk about the alpha widow. Where this guy's, I don't know if he's an alpha male or not, but he's given her a crazy experience, and she's kind of a widow of that, right? So this stuff can go very deep. Example number 2, opposite end of the spectrum, I'll give you from last week. I was in a coffee shop, and I sat next to I just sat, and there was a guy with long hair, the type, long hair, skinny guy with long hair, kind of mousy, almost grey looking hair, in his mid-20s, early 20s. Looks like he used to play a lot of Warhammer, something like that. One of those types of guys. But actually fairly presentable within that sphere. And he had all these stickers out in front of him, all these different stickers. He's got his sticker book, whatever he's doing. Okay, guy in his mid-20s, he's got his sticker book out, right? And I actually had a little conversation with him because on his t-shirt, he had Cyrillic writing on his t-shirt. And I've just got back from the Balkans. I said, hey mate, that's Cyrillic writing on your t-shirt. And he goes, yeah, some people have asked me about that. I was like, all right, where'd you get it from? And anyway, we just had a chat about his t-shirt, a little back and forth. And about 15 minutes later, I just go on doing what I'm doing. About 15 minutes later, quite an attractive young woman comes in. She's slim, she's got nice hair, young, not a super badsky, but decently attractive. Yeah, I think you from most guys would be like, yeah, I would, yeah, decently attractive. And she sits down, and evidently it's his girlfriend. Very evidently it's his girlfriend. So Mr. Stickerbook collection here, and she sits down, they start talking and stuff, and I can see by his interaction, he's so at ease with himself, this guy, and he's actually really happy there in his own little world of his stickers. And she says to him something along the lines of, oh, what was up with you last night? What was up with you last night? And his response was, oh, there was some sticker he was trying to buy, some limited edition thing on eBay or something. So he has this whole story about it. I can't remember what happened. And he was just so into this, right? And this put him in a good mood or something like that, or in a bad mood last night, whatever it was. And she was just kind of sitting there, like, listening to his story. He was so passionate about his pursuit, about his hobby. He was essentially indifferent to her reaction or non-reaction, okay? So there's even a couple of times where he's still talking about stickers like 10 minutes later. She looked a little bit bored. He just didn't care. Right? Yeah, this guy had quote-unquote frame, whatever the fuck that means. This guy was just confident in himself. And he evidently had neither money, look, status. He was just presentable, he was normal, and he had his interest, his passion, and his self-confidence, right? Completely uninterested in conforming to what is supposed to be some kind of a standard. So that's a great example of a guy who, he has a girlfriend, yeah? he's got a girlfriend, she's attractive, and he's into stickers. But, yeah, he is not competing, he is dominating. He's dominating the territory. He's dominating his own little playing field. Okay? So really, it really is all about your mindset. It really is all about your mindset. It's about just how at ease with yourself you are. And if you feel at ease with yourself, the girl is going to follow suit. They are the great followers. And I mean this in the most loving way. They really are the best followers. Okay? Yeah, and they're the best assistants you could ever have. The best followers, right? So they're going to follow your lead. If you're at ease with yourself, you're relaxed, you're cool, and you're just happy with your pursuits and your own interests, they're going to follow that, and they're going to feel at ease. They're going to slide right in.